My name is Rian Saunders, and I'm the quality assurance tester at Pito Alpha. I'm responsible for making sure that things go right whenever we add a new feature. The biggest challenge in my role is just how dynamic and fast-paced the team is. And the way to overcome that is by being even more dynamic and fast-paced. I try to stay on top of things, try to be privy to new features before they even start getting developed. As they are getting developed, I'm constantly checking how the progress is going, checking the code on those progress, testing all those branches on my own to make sure that, hey, yes, I need to be sure that this feature is going to work as intended before it even gets to me for official testing. Back in the day, some decades ago, I was in primary school and I had won a raffle for a computer, and it was my first ever home computer. And eventually, one of my colleagues told me about this game called RuneScape. And you know, I was like probably 8 or 9 years old. I got hooked on the game instantly. And I started playing the game, and I got really deep into it, and I discovered private servers, like RuneScape private servers. I was like, yeah, and I was playing them, I was having a whole lot of fun with them. And then eventually I said, I want to make my own. And I got to making my own, and it turns out you need to learn how to do a programming language. And RuneScape at the time was written in Java, so I learned Java. This back in the day, it was like Java 1.5, 1.6, way back over yonder. And I learned Java, I started making my RuneScape private servers, and then eventually it went into low-level game development, and then it went into software development. About a decade later, I was like, well, what if I can make websites too? And that's how I got started in this industry. So it's been, not to give away too much, but 20-something years of this, and I had a regret since. The most exciting part about my job is getting to test out the new features and experience them before the general public or our customers get to. See, whenever we launch a new feature like a performance module improvement or even our new performance module that just went through, it's really exciting to get to see what our talented developers are up to before the general public gets to see them, and I get to experience them as if I was one of our customers. So, because as a developer myself and also a tester, it really gets me going to see what my fellow developers are up to. One thing that people might not know about working in software development is the amount of decisions that you have to make for even the most minute detail. Say, for example, you're putting a button on a website. You could have an entire forum dedicated to how the button looks, how that button functions, what it should look like when you put your mouse over the button. And it's not only that. The other part of it is what happens when you click that button, right? The internal code part. It's the software design aspect of things that people just really don't seem to grasp. It's easy to say, hey, I have an app idea. Anybody can have an idea. But when you have something that's fully fledged and thought out, that's what really makes things special, and that's what most people don't know about. Well, I know AI is big right now, but personally, I'm more excited for progressive web applications. So progressive web applications give, websites even the power to perform as regular native apps on your phone, like your Facebook app, your WhatsApp app, for example. And you can just add them right to your home screen, and they can do things like take pictures, access your camera roll, send you notifications. Those sorts of things really get me excited about the future of web development and software in general, because they give smaller developers the tools and the opportunities they need to get away from these big companies like Apple and Google and launch their own smaller apps on their own ecosystem.